This is Dave, the Guru, and another tutorial using Gamesalad. In this video, I'm going to show you how to keep actors in a fixed position, but also keep them movable. I've got a demo here that I set up, and I've got it controlled by the keyboard. So let me just go ahead and start this up, and we'll take a quick look at it, and then I'll show you how to code this. So basically, I've got this little player actor that I've got the ability to move around on the screen with. And I've got these two blocks, let's say. And let's say I'm building a game where I want to have the player be able to move the blocks around. But when they come up against other blocks that I also want to be movable, I want them to stay in their position. So let's go ahead and look at it this way. And we can see that the block doesn't move. I can keep pushing on it, and it just stays in position. And I can go ahead up and move that one. And I can come down over here now, and let's say I want to move this one. I can go ahead and move that one. And they still all stay in the fixed position. So now let me show you how we did that. I'm not going to show you how I did the player. Those are just basic movements. But I've got a block here, and let's just go ahead and make another block. And we'll just make an actor. And always remember to uncheck bounciness when you're going to do this, unless you want it to bounce. But if you want everything to seem like a hard substance, you want to make sure that bounciness is set to 0. We're going to go ahead and set fixed rotation. That way the object doesn't rotate on its own in the physics engine. It'll stay fixed. And we can set the density on this to 20. Now we want to make sure that the density of our blocks is actually higher than the density of our player. So now one of the things that we're going to do is we need to come in and we need to make two self attributes. And they're going to be real attributes. So we'll go ahead and make another one. And we're going to go ahead and call this one X tracking. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to change this to Y tracking. So what these attributes are going to do is they're going to constantly track the position that the actor's in. So when we first start our scene, these variables are going to be set at 0. So one of the first things that we're going to want to do is when the scene starts, we're going to want to have these variables just once get filled with the current position of the actor. So that's why we're going to use two change attributes, because we only want this piece of code to fire once, and change attributes only fire the first time when a rule or condition or when they're just by themselves. So we're going to want to change X tracking to the actor's position on the scene, so self position X, and then we want to change the Y tracking to the self position on the scene Y. So now that we've got these two positions set up to get started when our game goes, let's just go ahead and make sure we get a couple collide behaviors. And we're going to collide with the player, and we also want to collide with the block, or you can do it with tags. So you can do an actor with a tag and put all the things that you would want this to collide with under that one tag. So now that we got that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a rule. And we're going to call this movable. And what this rule is going to do is it's going to allow us to move the player on contact, or move the block on contact with the player. And then when there's no longer contact, it's going to fix the position or constrain the position of the block. So what we're going to say is when actor receives event, overlaps or collides with actor of type player, what we want to do is we want to start changing the X and Y tracking self attributes here because we want them to keep updating the position as we're moving that block around. So now when they collide, we're going to go ahead and change self-tracking X to self-position X. And then we're going to change self-tracking Y to self-position Y. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to open the otherwise section, which works when this code in here fires when these conditions are not valid. So once the player stops overlapping, colliding, we want to now constrain the block's position that it's currently at to that position. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to say constrain attribute self-position X to our recorded current position, which is self-X tracking. And then we're going to go ahead and constrain self-position Y to self-Y tracking. And this will hold that block in place while the actor is not colliding with it. So let's just go ahead and let me go ahead and get rid of these two guys here just to show you that it works. And then we'll go ahead and bring this one in and we'll duplicate it. And let's just go ahead and test it. Oop. That's because I got to change that collide. Let me change that collide behavior to actor 1. So now they collide with each other because those are two actor 1s, not blocks. And here we go. And you'll see that's all you need to know about making a movable actor unmovable. You can find me on the forums under the name Lost Oasis Games. This is Dave, the Guru. I'll see you in the next video.